Okay folks, welcome back. As usual, the link up there in blue will be in the description in case you want to go and read this story. Okay, so before this is a story by Amy Walker. Before I sort of bring this story to you, I'm going to sort of preface it by letting you know my attitude towards doctors and nurses for that matter. I really respect doctors and nurses. You know and I know what they have to put up with on a daily basis, hour after hour after hour. Grinding hours sometimes in these hospitals and wherever they're working. The things they see in life, we never really see. They see it on a daily basis. You know, the horror of what we do to each other out here, right? The accidents, the murders, the awful things that happen to people, they have to see it and deal with it on a daily basis. It's the same with cops, to be honest with you, who see all this carnage. Firemen as well, and cops especially when they have to view some of this horrendous paedophilia stuff. There's a lot of cops taking to drink and drugs and all the rest of it, right? Just to, I'm talking about tranquilizers and prescribed dog drugs. I'm not talking about anything else. But so this is a kind of sad story. It's got some funny bits in it, I think, and I'm hoping that this particular girl will be able to look back on it, and see that it wasn't quite as bad as what she thought it was. So anyway, let's start it off. So, drunk doctor bit police officer's finger and threw hot coffee at staff in Glasgow airport. Dr. Rosen Hamilton, I'm just going to call you Rosie, alright? I don't know if that's what you drink, but I'm just going to call you Rosie, okay? Is facing a battle to save her career after a series of public and alcohol-fueled meltdowns. Now there she's there. A lovely looking woman, right? Lovely, gorgeous. I love her. Right, okay. NHS haematology expert Rosie Hamilton, 38. You don't look a day over 30. There you go. Right. Was charged with misconduct after she was arrested for attacks on the mob, airport officials and her husband. Well, I think he's to blame. He's drove her to drink. Because somebody as beautiful as that just automatically take drink. Even if she's a doctor. The 30-year-old who lives in Bearsden. Oh God, Bearsden. That kind of tells me as well. What have I told you about Bearsden? The wife swapping that's going on up there and the Satanism. That's the hub of it in Glasgow, the surrounding areas. That's where the Satanists live. Near Glasgow and has worked at hospitals in the city and in Aberdeen. She faces being struck off at the Medical Practitioners Tribunal service this week over her conduct. Well, I sincerely hope not. Now, it is quite a wee list we're going to go through here, alright? In some instances I think it's hilarious. And the only reason I find it hilarious is that she's a professional and gets herself into these kind of situations. It's just like a comedy sketch. I sincerely hope they don't. But anyway, in the first incident in June 2015, staff at a hospital saw her approaching her car while drunk and persuaded her to hand over the keys. But Rosie became aggressive when police arrived and she bit an officer's finger as he asked her to take a breath test. So she's dug her teeth into this bolus as he was on the breathalyzer. At the time, she was fined £980 and banned for a year after she admitted failing to provide a breath specimen and assault. So that means she would have been lifted, spent the night in the cells, then up in court the next day. If it was the weekend, she'd be up on the Monday, standing in front of a sheriff, hitting her with that, right? Rosie was arrested again the following year after being seen stumbling in the duty-free area at Glasgow Airport while waiting for a flight to Northern Ireland, where she was booked in to attend a rehabilitation centre. There she's there. Lovely, beautiful looking woman. Right. Airport staff went to offer her assistance, but she vomited on the floor and became aggressive, throwing scalding coffee onto the foot of an airport employee. That was an accident. A privacy screen was put up to shield her from passengers, but she continued to shout and swear at staff, yelling, "Fuck off, I'll kill you," and "Fuck off, you fucking bitch," as she lashed out. She was later charged and arrested again after a subsequent bust-up with her then-husband, who called the mob when she tried to get back into the house after he threw her out. Imagine throwing her out for being drunk. During the row, Rosie repeatedly hit, kicked, scratched him on the face and head and threw a desk organiser at the house. Oh, that's awful, isn't it? In January 2017, Rosie was ordered to complete 200 hours of unpaid work and pay £200 in compensation for threatening behaviour and assault. She was again arrested in August 2018 for drink driving in Armagh after she crashed her car into a fence and a bin. Tests showed she had over 3 times the legal limits. In September 2017, Rosie pled guilty to driving with excess alcohol. She was fined and disqualified for a further 18 months. So you can see the havoc that alcohol's played in her life. You know, imagine how long it took her to become, you know, an expert in her field, you know. In February last year, she was arrested for being drunk and abusive during a store opening at a shopping centre in Newry, County Down. As police detained her, she dug her fingernails into one officer's arm and shouted, "Fuck you." Shoppers and children looked on. After she was taken away, Rosie lashed out at the officer that sat next to her, punching her with a closed fist several times in her arm. Susanna Kitsick, lawyer for the General Medical Council, said, "An officer stopped the car he was driving and told the doctor in the back seat to calm down, but she struggled so violently she had to be put in handcuffs and leg restraints." Well, I would like to put her in handcuffs and leg restraints. Alright, Rosie. Everybody else, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, she tried to assault officers at the police station as the restraints were removed. The doctor was then placed in a cell until she calmed down, probably a padded cell. In March last year, Rosie, who has voluntarily not worked since 2015, shame, and is now divorced, admitted disorderly behaviour and assault. In a statement, Rosie said she was mortified and ashamed of her actions and said the offences did not represent her as a person, and I agree with that. You know, of all the people you would make allowances for, and I mean, listen, I'm just glad she never hit anybody in her car. You know, that is awful, driving a car drunk, so I'm not condoning that at all, and I don't think she would either. But I certainly hope that they don't strike her off. I hope they give her some sort of leave and allow her to try and get her life back together, because, you know, she studied hard to be where she is, and something's took its toll on her, and the drink's got a hold of her, and she's in the midst of an addiction. You know, there's somebody who's, you know, there's other people you can talk about that are in the midst of maybe a drug addiction. I did the one recently, but look what she's done for us. You know, they have to deal with the carnage that's out here with us. You know, the murders, the stabbings, the rapes, the just general accidents and the carnage they see on a day-to-day basis. We might see it if we're driving by it. They see it every day of the year, you know. So, I think I've said that already, but, you know, my heart goes out to her. So, good luck to you, Rosie. I hope everything works out for you. And you can get your life back together. If you want to give me a wee shout, I'll take you for an ice cream. And that's it. A cup of coffee or something. Alright. Listen, folks, if you like the content, hit the like button, share, and subscribe if you want. Peace out.